just are. It's like the law of gravity. If you, throw a brick out the window, it will fall down. So that's a universal law. Now we're going to talk about universal laws concerning spirituality, because right now we're in what you would call a spiritual war. And this war is concerning principalities. Okay, this war is about control. This is about something bigger than just good and bad, you know. And there is always a war between good and evil, because there is always the yin and the yang. Good morning. Good morning, lady. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So, what is the yin and the yang? It's the opposites. It's the duality of life. Okay, so the duality of life suggests to us that there's always another side. Okay, so let's take the first universal law. Okay, this is the universal law of divine oneness. Okay, so everything in the universe is interconnected. Every thought, every action, every event that affects the collective. Okay, every event in the world affects everything else. It doesn't look like it because everything's spread out. Okay, but everything affects everything else. And we seem to be having problems with our international feed. Let's I'm going to take a look at that real quick. But there we go. Okay, so the law of vibration is the second law. Everything in existence has a vibration. Nothing is static. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Cheryl. Nothing is static in the universe. Okay, so when we say that everything has its vibration, everything is moving, everything is evolving, everything is growing. Okay? The law of correspondence is the third universal law. And that law says, the law of correspondence says, that everything in here is reflected out here. Okay? So patterns repeat across different levels of reality. Okay, we are the microcosm of the macrocosm. In other words, we're the small version of the larger version. Okay, and what happens to you outside, is a reflection of how you are inside. And as above, so below. You may have heard on earth as it is in heaven. You may have heard it that way. But as above, so below. The law of attraction is the fourth universal law. That's probably the most popular, the one that you hear the most. Okay, so that's probably the most familiar, and that's because Rhonda Byrne has The Secret. She produced the documentary The Secret, so everybody's familiar with the law of attraction. Like attracts like. So that's what people are used to. That's what they hear. It's familiar. But there are 12 universal laws. That's just one of them. So anyway, but yeah. So we have more than the law of attraction. Now, the law of inspired action says that when you have inspired action, you need to follow it. You need to listen to it. Okay, and you're gonna automatically do this with enough meditation. Okay, when you meditate, when you sit and be still, it's the hardest thing to do. So for the last 3 days, I've been doing 44-minute meditations, and yeah, I know I don't look like the meditation kind of guy, but yeah. So I've done this three. So I'm on the 30-day program. So I do this one for 30 days, and you'd be surprised the results that this gets. This gets a lot of results. It really starts to change things. Manifestations come easy. Let's say it another way. When you set goals and you tune in to the kingdom in here, inside, things begin to happen. You begin to attract things. Why? Because there's no resistance. Okay, resistance is a thing. Resistance is a real thing. And resistance is important because when you encounter resistance, okay, it keeps things away from you. it is like, what it says it is, resistance. So, resistance is a real thing, and it is something to be aware of. Thank you, lady. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. So let's talk about the law of inspired action. Okay, so here's a simple version of inspired action that I talk about all the time. Okay, and I explain it because it's simple. Okay, so you're driving down the street. Okay, you're driving down the street and you see like a right turn and you go, okay, I'm gonna turn right over there, because you get that feeling. Okay, now sometimes we have free will, right? Or let's say the logical side, the left brain, okay? Because intuition comes from the right side. Jesus sits at the right hand of the Father, okay? But we also have the left, okay? And the left